everyone, this is our data visualization project, Prepare for English 290, Section 1, will be presented by myself, Alyssa, Roger, Robin, and Zachary. The data used in this project was pulled from the 2018 Spring Enrollment Report for UNM, and this type of report typically has a very large audience. It can be used for advisory, it can be used for each separate program, and people, the common public, can also use it. So typically these graphs are used for communicating information in a way that words can't. They catch their reader's attention and they provide communication for multiple audiences. They also help non-native speakers interpret data and information. So this project is going to contain a line graph, a bar chart, a combination bar and line graph, and a table graph. The goal of each of these graphs or tables will be to narrow down our audience and really try to pull information that we feel is important. So the first one we have is a line graph, and as you can see, it's broken up into the doctor programs, pharmacy, nursing, and physical therapy, and then it's further broken down by gender, male and female. So the whole point of this graph was to make sure that the audience, which in this case would be those either enrolling in this program or those in charge of the program, to give them an idea of the ages of the people that are applying for their programs, that are currently in their programs, etc. So as you can see, this really helps the viewer because they can see how close in age a lot of these are. As you can see through the Doctor of Pharmacy female, the pink line, and then the Doctor of Pharmacy male, the blue line. They're almost identical. You can barely see the blue line. So the point of this was to really help visualize that information, to show the differences in ages and to also show how close that these can get.
This is Roger, and I'll be presenting bar graphs. Bar graphs can communicate numerical values, but they are better at showing the relative values of two or more items. This means they are a quick and effective way to grasp the significance of big numbers. The bar graphs here will show some information about the average age of UNM's graduate students. The new audience for this bar graph data will be the staff of UNM's College of Nursing. According to UNM's website, there's a critical need for graduates of the Doctor of Nursing Practice program. This first bar graph shows that the average age of a Doctor of Nursing Practice student approaches 50 years, compared to an average age of about 30 years for the other graduate students. The next bar graph is a deviation bar graph, which can show data that is trending upward or downward. As you can see, for Doctor of Nursing Practice students, over the last 5 years, the average age has increased by nearly 12%, while the other professions are comparatively stable at about 2% change or less. This means that if current trends continue, the average Doctor of Nursing Practice graduate will be nearing retirement age relatively soon after graduation. Our group felt that the leadership of College of Nursing should be aware of this trend that the deviation bar graph so effectively illustrates.
Hello everybody, my name is Zachary Romero. I'm going to be discussing the table graph on our group's presentation. So I did provide another graph that was a bar and line graph that was put together just as an example to explain how important a table graph is for the start of presenting some collaborative form of information like this. So it's a very simplistic way to understand a higher end graph, one that may have tons of information on it, or even it can vary from various pictures, the lines, scatter plots, everything. Very similar to the one that Robin has done. The addition that with color coding has made some of the columns easier, and it helps group up information. The whole goal of a table is really just to have a baseline for the further graph that comes after, or that is based off this set of data. And it's also just a reference point for you to come back to if you need to find just the percentage of the 1 year for a congruent female student, the age, and just makes it a lot easier to have this as a reference point. Thank you. Bye.
The set of data in the University of New Mexico Spring 2018 official enrollment report of the Albuquerque campus contains 27 pages, just over 20 categories, and several data maps. The official enrollment report was provided to the original audience for all the schools and programs at UNM. Figure 4 is a combination bar line graph that depicts the data for Anderson graduate and graduate programs. This graph represents the data to be presented to the new audience, the advisors, faculty, and scheduling with each of these programs. The new audience will review the defined data provided specifically for their graduate program and evaluate the average ages of the students attending these programs to determine the scheduling of classes required for these non-traditional students, which is based on age, and tailor these programs to increase future enrollments. With the need considered for the new audience, colors in the chart were carefully chosen to clearly and attractively represent the new data. The bars indicate the average ages of male and female students over the semesters between 2014 and 2018. As well, the lines emphasize a clear view of average ages at each interval in the bars.
In conclusion, you could see each member of our group took categories from the same 2018 enrollment report. We each created graphics to address the needs and concerns of a different audience. Each of these graphics was meant to emphasize information relevant to that audience and present the information in a more accessible way. The graphs did as mentioned in the introduction. They communicated through visuals instead of just stating the information. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed our project.